Xankəndi, biz bu şəhər, Qarabağın həm fiziki, həm də mərkəzi şəhərlərindən biri olan bu şəhər haqqında nə bilirik? Mən əminəm ki, filmin birinci hissəsinə baxdıqdan sonra biz Xankəndinin tarixi barəsində nə qədər məlumatsız olduğumuzu təsəvvür edəcəyik. Bu film bizim üçün, Azərbaycan ictimaiyyəti üçün çox vacibdir. Vacibdir ondan ötürü ki, bu film ilkin məxəzlərdən, yalnız və yalnız ilkin mənbələrə əsaslanaraq çəkilmişdir. Bir də ki, bu film bütün erməni iftirasını, erməni yalanını kökündən dəyişir. Filmdə istifadə olunan bütün materiallar arxivlərdən götürülmüşdür və biz əminik ki, bu filmə baxanda biz Xankəndinin tarixini, onun keçmişini bir daha gözümüz önündə canlandıra biləcəyik. Film şəxsi rəylərdən, mülahizələrdən çox uzaqdır. Ən əsaslı isə odur ki, bu film Azərbaycan tamaşaçısının ixtiyarına verilmiş, mühakiməsinə verilmiş Xankəndi haqqında ilk sənədli filmdir.
The establishment of Xankəndi coincides with the period starting from the 1760s during Ibrahim Khalil Khan's reign as Khan of Qarabağ. The foundation of the city of Şuşa, which was established in 1750 by Panah Ali Khan, the governor of Qarabağ, continued during his son Ibrahim Khalil Khan's governing on a larger form. It was during the time when Ibrahim Khalil Khan gave instructions to build the personal manor house on the foothills of the mountain in the strategically advantageous area notable for its natural and geographical conditions, which was at 10 versts distance, about 10-12 kilometers away from Şuşa. As Khan's family and friends were living in this new residence, this area became known as Xankəndi, Khan's garden, or Xankəndi, Khan's village, from the first years. Caravansarais, hotels, ice houses, various workshops, stables for hybrid horses and milch cattle, as well as small houses for Khan's servants and workers were built to satisfy the demands of Qarabağ Khan's family and his guests. A new settlement was established in this place chosen for repose of the Khan and his family in a short period of time. Crop farming and cattle breeding were the main fields of occupation here. Gardening, horticulture, beekeeping, seed growing, and handicrafts were also developed in Xankəndi. Although this settlement was named as Xankəndi, it remained to be called Xankəndi, Khan's garden, in official correspondence and historical writings for a long time. The history of Qarabağ, written by Mirza Jamal Cavanşir Qarabaği, who was the secretary of Panah Ali Khan and his son Ibrahim Khalil Khan, and held the post of vizier starting from 1797, when Mullah Panah Vagif was assassinated till the abolishment of Qarabağ Khanate, is one of the first precious sources dated to the history of Azerbaijan of the 18th and 19th centuries. The facts reflected in this historical book prove that Xankəndi was always in the center of political processes taking place around Qarabağ. For instance, we learn from the book that a small unit of Russian troops was placed in Xankəndi in 1805 at Ibrahim Khalil Khan's request after the signature of the Köçkünlərə agreement on the 14th of May of Khan of Qarabağ, Ibrahim Khalil Khan, and on the 21st of May by Khan of Şəki, Selim Khan. There was a celebration, festivity and feast on the shore of Köçkünlərə for several days. After the treaties and obligation was written, Ibrahim Khalil Khan and Governor of Şəki, Selim Khan sealed it and the Viceroy signed it. At the request of now deceased Ibrahim Khalil Khan, a unit of Russian troops with artillery would always stay beside Khan's castle in Şuşa. After returning from the Köçkünlərə gathering under the order of the Viceroy, Major Lisanevich, with a unit of jaggers and artillery came to Xankəndi, which was at 10 versts distance from the castle. Thus, the first visit of Russian soldiers to Xankəndi was undertaken in 1805. But unlike Şuşa, Xankəndi was considered to be not for defense but mainly for repose. It was not suitable for preventing enemy attacks. Therefore, even existence of the Russian military detachment in the settlement was not able to defend Khan and his family from such big threats as attacks of Iranian troops from the south. The history of Karabakh narrates, that year, that is in spring in 1806, Qızılbaş army started attacking the territories of Karabakh again. By sending people secretly, they kept on giving promises and hopes to now deceased Ibrahim Khalil Khan, because there were not any troops except Major Lisanevich and Jaeger troop in Karabakh to prevent the attack of such a mighty enemy, and in order to guard the Karabakh lands and villages from devastation as it was harvest time, Ibrahim Khalil Khan had to treat the Qızılbaşis well. He consulted the Major about every issue. The Major kept on promising that high-level Russian troops would arrive soon. In reality, the Russian troops were too late. The Qızılbaşis and their troops were at the distance of 2 trees, approximately 12-14 kilometers, to the castle. Now deceased Ibrahim Khalil Khan moved his family and belongings out of Xankəndi and resettled close to the castle. It's a historical fact that by signing Köçkünlərə agreement, Khan of Karabakh, his heirs, and the population of the Khanate accepted obedience to Russia, and the Khanate was deprived of the right to carry out the independent foreign policy. On the other hand, the Russian Empire didn't lay hands on his properties. In his work of the history of Karabakh, Mirza Jamal Javanshir states Xankəndi as part of personal property of Ibrahim Khalil Khan, the Khan of Karabakh. In 1806, after Ibrahim Khalil Khan's assassination by Major Lisanevich, Xankəndi, along with other properties, were inherited by his own Mehdigulu Khan. It is emphasized in the book that the buildings and houses left by the deceased Ibrahim Khalil Khan, the buildings and Xankəndi at a tree distance from the Shusha castle. Mehdigulu Khan, appointed as Khan after his father Ibrahim Khalil Khan's assassination, had to state his loyalty to the Russian Empire to save the Khanate from total destruction. It was a big problem for the Russians and Armenians. The deposing of Mehdigulu Khan, who was loyal to the emperor, was possible only with discrediting, blackmailing, and slander. After coming to power, Mehdigulu Khan expanded the settlement by increasing Xankəndi's population with approximately 40 families. Besides, he brought new additional farms to Xankəndi. At that period, caravansarai, hotel, smithy, farriery, as well as a big wholesale market, which provided neighboring villages with food and other products, were functioning in Xankəndi. Like his father, Mehdigulu Khan chose Xankəndi as his residence and his family's resting place. On October the 12th, 1813, in Gülistan village of Karabakh, a peace agreement between Russia and Iran on dividing Azerbaijan was signed. This agreement seriously affected the fate of Xankəndi, as it did with other regions of Azerbaijan. The colonial administrative governance system was established in the North Azerbaijan, and the Khanate ruling was replaced with the commandant administrative system. During this period, Tsarist government departments were created in Xankəndi. Although Mehdigulu Khan was a formal governor of those departments, the real control was in the hands of Russian militaries. On the other hand, after Gülistan agreement, in Karabakh, self-willed Russian militaries and Armenians acting under their patronage were making plans how to destroy the Karabakh Khanate. In November 1822, General Alexei Yermolov, the commander-in-chief of Russian army in Transcaucasia, made the following statement to the population of Karabakh Khanate. I heard with great surprise that Mehdigulu Khan, Khan of Karabakh, betrayed us and escaped to Persia, that is South Azerbaijan. Because of it, from now on, Karabakh Khanate passes to the direct control of the Russian government. Khan's governance is abolished forever, and special officials will be sent by me to establish the required management system in this land. Those who took part in the betrayal of fugitive Khan and dare to build secret relations with him will be subject to violent and ruthless pursuit. Mehdigulu Khan's letter to the governor of Karabakh, Knyaz Abkhazov, dated June the 21st, 1827, brings light to unclear moments behind Yermolov's statement. As it turns out, Mehdigulu Khan's exile from Karabakh was the result of a joint plan of Russian General Yermolov and Karabakh Armenian Knyaz Valerian Madatov. Mehdigulu Khan writes in his letter, in 1816, when Yermolov was appointed as a commandant to this place, Madatov was next to him. They offered me to give in Karabakh to His Majesty the Emperor. I said that I am a loyal servant to Russia, so this province belongs to His Majesty, the Emperor. Then General Madatov came to me and said, they want to take the province as well as the Khanate from you. If you stay with me and concede some of your properties and farms to me, I will work it out in a way that they will neither take your province nor Khanate from you. I will provide you with a written document confirming it. After that, they brought the Bible. He swore in front of several people and wrote the document. I still have the document. It says that from that time on, he will not go against me, and he will protect me from any damage and loss by anyone, including General Yermolov. After giving that document, he took villages, tithes, summer and winter pastures, cash and obligations, together with items. Thus, in the result of Armenian-Russian cunning, Karabakh Khanate, including Xankəndi, together with Mehdigulu Khan's other properties, passed to the treasury of the Russian Empire. After the abolishment of Karabakh Khanate, the Russians start to the unnatural settlement of the Armenians in the territory of the whole Karabakh, including Xankəndi. In 1823, the Russian Empire conducts a population census for the first time in Karabakh, as well as in Xankəndi. In the related census documents, it says about Xankəndi. In this village, which was published by Mehdigulu Khan, taxes were not collected as the population was new. 3 houses are those who lived here from long ago and finished their homage. 17 houses are newly settled and 5 houses are tenants who don't pay anything. 6 houses are poor people, 2 houses are popes, 2 houses belong to stableman Allah Bey, 2 houses belong to tenants, 2 houses belong to deceased Davud's children, and 1 house belongs to the painter. After this census, Russian military started to settle new families to these places to increase the number of Armenians in Xankəndi. One of the main sources for getting the accurate information about the history of the city of Xankəndi is the Acts of Caucasus Archaeographic Commission. The first reminder of Xankəndi in these acts came across with the Commission's notes dated 1826, related to the correspondence between Russian militaries and Armenian knyazes on the eve of the Second Russian-Iranian War. In the report of Russian Major Chilyaev to Armenian knyaz Valerian Madatov, it is said, in Khambari, they are waiting for Abbas Mirza's arrival soon. Lieutenant Sefer Bey informed me that according to his sources, Ehsan Khan Nakhchivanli will replace Abul Fath Khan Chundurlu soon, and Prince Abbas Mirza's visit to Khambari in summer doesn't aim to, but hunting and entertaining, as well as transferring the control over Karabakh to his son Bahram Mirza instead of Yusuf Khan. In the report of Valerian Madatov to General Lieutenant Vilyaminov, dated April the 6th, 1826, it is said, the prince is making preparations to visit Khambari at the end of April, and preparation work is being done there. From these correspondences, we find out that Xankəndi was not only known for the place where decisions of national importance were made, but it became a center which could influence the social and political situation of Karabakh starting from the 20s of the 19th century. It is worth mentioning that during the Russian-Iranian War from 1826 to 1828, when Prince Abbas Mirza surrounded the Shusha castle, he settled his headquarters in Xankəndi. Then, although Abbas Mirza's troops laid siege to Shusha for 2 months, they were not able to take over the castle. When Russian General Yermolov sent his troops to Shusha, Abbas Mirza left the place, ruining Xankəndi on his way back. In 1827, Mehdi Khan came back to Karabakh and found out that his lands, villages, and other properties were taken away from him. He complained to Russia Emperor. After long-lasting communications with the Russian government in 1829, he achieved getting back several of his lands, including Xankəndi. After receiving back Xankəndi, Mehdi Khan restored all the buildings, houses, and catering facilities. The Second Russian-Iranian War had already come to an end with Turkmenchai peace agreement, an artificial settlement of the Armenians in the territories of Azerbaijan was widespread. According to the official sources, in 1829-1830, approximately 60,000 Armenians from Iran and around 90,000 Armenians from Turkey were moved to Caucasus. In reality, this number was much more than that. In 1839, 91% of Karabakh's population was comprised of Azerbaijanis, and only 8.5% were Armenians. As a result of settlement policy, the percentage of Azerbaijani population decreased to 64.8% and the Armenians increased to 34%. Only in 1832 and 1834, proportion of Armenian population in Xankəndi decreased to 27%. The researchers testify that there were 80 houses registered with Armenian families and 52 houses registered with Russian families in Xankəndi in 1847. In mid-May of 1845, Mehdi Khan died in the accident. All his lands, including Xankəndi, were inherited by his wife Badir Jahan Beyim. After Mehdi Khan's death, the Russians, especially the Armenians, showed great zeal for getting Xankəndi from Badir Jahan Beyim for its strategically suitable position. Despite of their several attempts in this direction, Badir Jahan Beyim succeeded in maintaining Xankəndi. But in 1846, the Russian government addressed a letter to Badir Jahan Beyim demanding her to transfer them the right to Xankəndi for rent. The letter said that the Russian government intended to place Russian troops in Xankəndi. Badir Jahan Beyim was alarmed by the danger of losing Xankəndi, as after the consultation with the family and relatives, Badir Jahan Beyim agreed to rent Xankəndi for 400 rubles out of the Russian government. In 1847, a big Russian regiment was placed in Xankəndi. The placement of Russian military bases in Xankəndi was not a coincidence. First of all, it aimed to prevent the rebellions occurring in that area. Simultaneously, Xankəndi had a strategically favorable position to keep under control disobedient Shusha and lots of Azerbaijani settlements around. This step also created opportunity for moving the Armenians to Xankəndi in future, and in this way strengthened their support. In the 10th volume of the Acts of Caucasus Archaeographic Commission, the exact Russian regiment placed in Xankəndi is mentioned. In the report of Knyaz Vorontsov to Russian Emperor, it is emphasized. All this time, that is during the year of 1848, we were building and studying roads, constructing bridges, and creating new headquarters for Migral Jaga Regiment in settlement of Xankəndi close to Shusha. Although the Armenians and the Russian officers named the settlement as headquarters, in Tsarist Russian maps of 1847, the settlement is officially shown as Xankəndi. After Tsarist occupation, as usual, Armenians immigrated from Iran were moved to the developing Xankəndi, and as they gained trust, they were provided with jobs in Tsarist army's military bases and state departments. As Russian military contingent was placed in Xankəndi, military barracks, hospital administrative buildings were built and military headquarters of the region was moved to this place. After that settlement, the Armenians in Xankəndi was increased. An ice house with big storage rooms for reserving meat and butter products of military personnel was built near the military town. In order to provide the bricks for intensive construction in Xankəndi, brickworks was constructed in the north. The surrounding settlement was called Kerpichkhana, brickyard. Xankəndi was growing and